what we're being called to by all these problems is if you let the sadness or depression or fear overwhelm you or anger, you're making no progress. It'll blow you up. But you need to understand that all this disruption is a call. You went through a call when Fox made a change with you.
Yeah.
A call is something disrupts your life. It's the hero's journey, right? You look at all the stories of mankind and you look back and you see there's this same path, and you can make it really complex. I like a simpler version. First simple version is your life is seeming good or bad, and then something disrupts it. You go through a divorce, you suddenly have a health problem, somebody in your family has a health problem, you lose your job, or something happens to the economy, or COVID, or whatever. It doesn't have to be within your control. And what does that require? It means you got to be called on a new adventure. It makes you get out of your comfort zone. That's where we are right now. You either fall back and freak out, or you discipline your disappointment and you move forward. And what happens? You go on a journey, and on that journey, you're going to face all kinds of demons and challenge and dragons. You're going to meet some new mentors. You're going to develop some new skills. And if you do the hard work and push through, you'll make it to the side, you'll be transformed. You'll be the hero of your own life, and you can bring back what you've learned and help other people. And it's not that hard. I mean, I'll give you 7 steps real fast. All you got to remember is the first 4, because the other 3 kind of take care of themselves. Step 1, what makes somebody go on a journey is when they unleash or awaken their deeper desires. So for you, and I don't know for sure, but my bet is the Fox situation was disruptive, but it also unleashed within you new possibilities. Oh, yeah. I could do this on my own terms. I could do things more international. I'm not going to be limited what someone else tells me I can or cannot do. And I know you weren't limited very much before, but you have total freedom now to do it. But as you go on that journey, you got to build a business. You used to work for someone else.
Yeah.
And you got to bring people in, and they're not all going to perform. And then you discover some people you've been so loyal to are not quite as committed as you are. They're not doing the job. And you have to take on things you probably didn't want to take on. You're spending your time looking at the big issues and dealing with things. But at some level, you got to deal with the business. And so along the way, you'll have to deal with those challenges. You'll find new people. You'll find new mentors. You'll develop new skills. And the other side, you'll be better off than ever before and be able to come back and help more people. But you have to know, what is it you want and why do you want it? Because it's like New Year's resolutions. Why don't they work? Because when you do a New Year's resolution, you're just saying what you want to have happen, right? It's not really a resolution. When you resolve something, that means you cut off anything except what you've committed to. People don't resolve. They go, I kind of like this. Most people don't have much of a plan. But if you know what you want with real clarity and why you want it, now you're on the path. So for example, someone says, how do I know I'm going to get where I want to be financially? How do I know I'm going to get where I want to be in a relationship or in my business or career? The first step is, what do you want? If you don't know what you want, you're not even on the path. If you know exactly what you want, you get really clear and you know why you want it, you got enough reasons to push you through. Now the second step is you got to find and face the truth. And that's what has to happen for everybody. Find and face the truth means see the gap between where you are and where you want to be. There's always a gap if you're honest. So instead of, well, I'm big boned is what I used to tell myself when I was 38 pounds heavier. No, I was freaking fat. That's what I was, right? But I'd say I was big bone. I have the same bones and I'm 38 pounds lighter and stayed this way for 35 years, right? But when I had that mindset, it got in the way. So you have to say, here's where I am, here's where I want to be, and you have to be honest. It's not where I want to be. It's uncomfortable. But then the second part is you got to uncover, face the truth, what has gotten in the way in the past. And there's only 5 things usually. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of unknown, fear of not looking good, fear of all those things. Or 2, a limiting belief, like I've tried everything. Once you believe that, you don't even try anything anymore. Someone trying to lose weight, that's the common one they'll say, because they've tried a bunch of things that didn't work. Or all the good ones are gone,
Right.
All right. Or they're gay and I'm not, or I'm gay and they're not, or whatever the story is. There's a story, a belief system that limits them. And so it keeps them from maximizing their ability. Third thing that could have gotten in the way, some other emotion, overwhelm, stress, anger, resentment. Those things just shut down your progress. So you'd have to make a change. Fourth thing that it could be for you, well, it could really be that you just got some bad habits. It's like people, about 52% of what most people do in a day, and I don't know where they come up with these stats, some say 48, some say 52, roughly half, is on automated. It's habit. You're not even thinking, right?
That's for sure.
And what's good about that is you don't think about driving your car. What's bad about that is you get stuck doing the same things over and over, thinking the same thoughts, having the same feelings, not really changing. So you have to say, there's some habits that need to change. I want to lose 24 pounds, and my first thing in the morning is go to Starbucks and have a mocha smoke or whatever, and it's just, you're not going to get there. You have to have a different set of habits. And then the fifth one is, or were you missing a skill? Like, for example, some people don't know what to do financially. They don't know how to invest, and so they don't do anything. And then they wake up figuring out, why am I so broke? Well, you're broke because you're a consumer. You're not an owner, So you have to look at what skill do you need to get? Is there a skill for running your business? When I started my business, I had no skills. I had passion, I had desire, I had hunger, I had great abilities, but I didn't know how to run a business. So I learned those skills. And now I've got 114 companies. We do $7 billion in business across all kinds of different industries you can imagine. It's the most fun thing in the world because I know how to do it. So if you know what you really want and you face the truth and find the real truth, then you've got to put a massive action plan together. And that just means not a perfect plan, but just what are some things you do immediately start making progress? Because as you make progress, new insights will come to you. And then the fourth one, and I'll finish with that, the others are quick, is just you have to then do the hard work. You got to slay your dragons. You got to slay that limiting belief or that anger or that hurt or that sadness. You got to create that compelling future. You got to go get that skill. And then after those first 4 steps, you'll have momentum. Now you just need a daily practice, something that puts you in the place of doing the right thing each day so it becomes a habit. You need to measure more often. When I take over a company, the first thing I do is measure more often. And I find the things that matter, and I'll measure them not once a year, then you have a bad year. Measure once a month, you're not going to have bad years. You got 12 times to make it better. Measure it once a week, you won't have bad months. Measure it once a day. And some companies, when I take over, I'll measure some things 3 or 4 times a day because where focus goes, energy flows. And so now all of a sudden you're measuring and improving. You've been doing the daily practice, you'll then get to a point where you can celebrate. And once you celebrate, it starts all over again because you'll be called on another journey because we're meant to grow. If you ask, people ask me, what does it take to be happy? You met millions of people. What does it take? So many people are unhappy. Well, relationships are one of the keys to that, but there is one key even within relationship, progress. Progress equals happiness. If you go and achieve some huge goal, I don't know if you've ever done this, and then you achieve it, you have 1 or 2 experiences. You either go, is this all there is?
Yeah.
After you achieved it, which is horrible, feels worse than failing. Or you go, wow, this is amazing, and you celebrate. But how long do you feel good for after achieving some great goal? 5 years, a year, 6 months, 60 days?
20 or 30 minutes.
20 or 30 minutes?
Range.
Most people are in the 20 to 30 minutes to maybe 2 months max, right? Why? Because we're not meant to just sit at the table of success and get fat and feel bored. We're meant to grow. And when we grow, when we make progress, we feel alive. And what makes us feel most alive, I know in your life and in mine too, knowing you as a person, is when you grow, you have something to give. And what makes life meaningful is not just a happy life. It's not always happy, but a meaningful life is a life where you serve something more than yourself, something that gives you the energy and excitement, whether it be serving your kids and family or your business or something in your community or something in the world. That's what makes it work. But we all need to get on the path, and you can do this within a year. Where are you unhappy about? My body. Well, first step, do you know exactly what you want and why you want it? Okay, let's start there. Okay, second, you know what you want, why you want it? Tell me. Have you faced the truth? How big a gap is it specifically? How far off are you? Let's measure it. And then what's gotten in the way? Is it fear? Is it limiting beliefs? Is it some form of emotion that gets in the way? Frustration, anger, overwhelm? Is it some kind of habit you got, or is there a skill you need to get? Okay, great. Let's get a plan and let's go do the hard work. Those first 4 things will get anybody going. And once you do, you'll get the momentum that makes you successful.